Seahawks Today is your Seattle Seahawks headquarters for all the latest breaking news, rumors, live shows, watch parties, and more. And we are nearing 41,000 subscribers on the channel, just over 60 away from reaching that milestone. Let's get there today. I believe we can. You want more Seahawks content? This is the channel for you. Subscribe for free, and we'll get started with today's show. Seahawks Today is presented by Manscaped. Use promo code Seahawks for 20% off plus free shipping. We'll tell you more about Manscaped coming up later on in the show. We begin today with Artie Burns as the Seahawks have activated Artie Burns from the practice squad to the 53-man roster. Now, we have seen Artie Burns already this year, but now this is a official capacity that he takes a spot in. After playing 31 snaps the last 2 weeks, the Seahawks must be liking what they've seen from a small sample size of Artie Burns so far to this point in time. The numbers aren't anything special by any means. What you see there with one tackle, hasn't had a pick or any pass breakups just yet. But the Seahawks are looking for some potential other answers in the secondary right now. We're waiting on Jamal Adams when he'll return. We're going to talk later on about Mike Jackson, how he has not gotten a whole lot of playing time as of late. But right now, though, Artie Burns at least appears to get his opportunity with this Seahawks defense. We'll see what he does to take advantage of that. So, give me your one-word reaction to Artie Burns' promotion to the 53-man roster. My one word is expected. I'm not surprised that Artie Burns got this opportunity. Let's see what he can do with it. That's my one word. Give me your one-word reaction in the comment section below. Now, as we enter the midway point of the week and look ahead to next week's matchup, I want to look at whose stock is up and whose stock is down for the Seahawks after the first 2 weeks of the season. And we can't begin, when you talk stock up, without mentioning the quarterback for your Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith. And Geno, I got to tell you, just was so impressive for me with the job that he was able to do, the performance that he delivered this past Sunday. I applaud the way that Geno bounced back after the Rams game and showed off his capabilities to lead this team. I mean, you think about this. It wasn't just that he recovered so nicely the week prior when he didn't play great, the offensive line didn't play great and all of that. But then with their backs against the wall, of being short-handed on the offensive line, with going into overtime, leading a comeback win, down the field there in overtime, that touchdown drive and everything like that, to me, that showed a lot of poise, a lot of strength, intestinal fortitude from Geno Smith that he can get the job done. And so far, through 2 games, his numbers look pretty dang good. A 72% completion percentage with 440 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. Geno Smith off to a strong start. And as you take a step further and look at the analytics of what Geno Smith is doing, well, me and Smitty were talking about this earlier today, that the passing grades, according to PFF right now, show that Geno's strength is the middle of the field. And of any of the 4 categories, whether it be the deep passing game, the medium passing game, short, or behind the line of scrimmage, if you could pick one area in particular to be strong at, it would be the middle of the field, because that is your best opportunity to attack a defense consistently. And right now, Geno by far is dominating when it comes to the middle of the field at a rate scoring close to 94 at this point, comparably speaking to his other categories. Last year was all about the deep passing game. He led the league as the best deep ball passer in the league, but so far this year, it looks like Geno has put in the work when it comes to the medium passing game. Now, to stock down, we begin with Mike Jackson at the corner position. Mike Jackson had a terrific offseason. Remember, he was what Pete Carroll called the MVP of the offseason, and there was questions about could he potentially be traded with as much as the Seahawks have invested in younger talent at the corner position with homegrown guys and not necessarily having a spot for everybody, could they move on from Mike Jackson? Ultimately, they decided to hang on to him, and he ultimately got beat out for Tre Brown for one of these starting positions. And so far, Mike Jackson, 2 weeks into the season, is just nowhere to be found. After a promising offseason, it feels like this coaching staff has already given up on Mike Jackson already. Mike Jackson, after everything that seemed to be going his way, did not play well in the preseason, and now he can barely even get on the field at this point. Through 2 games, Mike Jackson has only played in 14% of the Seahawks snaps at this point in time. That's all that he's been out there. Just 14%. That's 21 total plays of the defensive snaps. And to think that we're going to see more Devin Witherspoon here soon, too, as he's back from injury and all that. But that's all we've seen from Mike Jackson to this point. So that makes me think, if they're not going to play him, then why is he still there? Is Mike Jackson going to be a potential trade chip when it comes to the trade deadline? Are they waiting to see if there's another injury or something? Because Mike Jackson, it feels like the Seahawks coaching staff, after being in love with him not too long ago, has said, we're done, because they're not even putting him on the football field. What about you? Have you given up on Mike Jackson? If you have, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. Tell me what you think. Are you done with Mike Jackson or not? Is it Jover for Mike Jackson? Weigh in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Stock up. Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett off to a fantastic start to 2023. And we talked about Geno being clutch in those closing moments of that Detroit Lions game. Tyler Lockett was unbelievable himself. 8 catches, 2 touchdowns, 59 yards. Tyler Lockett, all reliable, showed up again to get the job done. And you think about it, going into 2023, there was a bit of pressure on Tyler Lockett with the Seahawks investing in JSN and the idea by many that JSN would one day replace Tyler Lockett. Could be a year from now, could be years from now, whatever it may be. But even at 30 years old, Tyler Lockett, beginning this season, has not shown any regression. He's not playing like he's 30 years old. He looks like he's just as good as ever, and the guy is not slowing down yet. I have been very impressed with Tyler Lockett, and I hope it continues because obviously he and Geno have something special going on to start off this season. Today's episode of Seahawks Today is presented by Manscaped, where you can get 20% off when you use the promo code Seahawks at checkout. Look, folks, it's cuffing season, and your puppies could use a fresh trim that is refreshing as a fall breeze with Manscaped. 9 million men worldwide are using Manscaped, and you can get the kit that covers it all with the Performance Package 4.0. Let's tell you about some of the stuff the Performance Package 4.0 includes. You get the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, so you can trim those boys, make sure that all your puppies are good to go, your ducks are in a row, as they will, because nobody wants to deal with any messy ball hair down there. That's just gross. It also comes with the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, because you can't be stinky down there. No chick's going to want any of that, I can tell you that much right now. And also the Crop Ball Spray Toner as well. That way you can have a little shine down there on top of that. Plus, we got a little added bonus for you as well. You're going to get the Manscaped Boxers in the Shed Travel Bag. That way when you're on the road, you can have it all in one piece. Go to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping. Promo code Seahawks at checkout. That's manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping. Use that promo code Seahawks at checkout to get the Performance Package 4.0 today. Stock down now. Julian Love enters our list on the stock down side. As we have documented on this show, the secondary hasn't lived up to the hype of what we expected so far in 2023, but the year is still young. And one of those guys that hasn't lived up to the hype at this point is Julian Love. No love at first sight at this point in time. Julian Love, to start at the season, has had 9 tackles, 1 pass breakup. But here's what I'm looking at, okay? Right now, you have Julian Love opposite of Quandre Diggs. And it feels like Julian Love is out of place. Remember, he came into the National Football League and his strength was as a nickelback. And the Seahawks have some question marks with Kobe Bryant right now. Kobe Bryant's not playing his best either. Maybe you swap him of sorts when Jamal Adams comes back. Jamal gets his starting job back. You put Julian Love at the nickelback spot, and then you move Kobe Bryant back to the backup safety position, which he looked really good in during the preseason. I think the Seahawks need to figure out some of their roles more to see where guys can better play to their strengths. Because right now it looks like Julian Love is out of place. And here's what I mean by this. The coverage stats back this up completely. Julian Love, through 2 games, has given up 14 receptions. And when quarterbacks have been throwing his direction, the completion percentage is near 74%. If you're throwing at Julian Love, it's probably going to be a completion 3 out of 4 times. That's not great. He's already given up 215 yards and a touchdown as well. Julian Love, I think Julian Love's going to be a terrific football player. I'm optimistic about it, but it doesn't feel like that he is being used to his strength, that he's out of place right now. We'll see where he goes. Stock up. Let's go to the corner position and talk Tre Brown now. Tre Brown, his statistics were so good from what he was able to do that we don't have time to even go over all of it. When you talk about the interception, the forced fumble he's had, the tackles, I mean, just all of it. Tre Brown has been all over the place for the Seattle Seahawks to start off this 2023 campaign. And in particular, everybody points to the 2 sequence plays that Tre Brown had in the last performance against the Detroit Lions when he had the sack, which was followed up then by the pick 6, making big-time plays in big-time moments. And I know there's some of you out there that are saying, hey, Tre Brown, we'd like to see some more consistency. And, maybe he hasn't shown it on every single play. And I can understand where you're coming from, but look at what he did specifically when it comes to the grades from PFF. This tells the whole story for the whole game, besides just what we showed you statistically. Coverage grade of 85.5, pass rush grade of near 84, tackle grade of 78, and a defensive grade near 81. And his numbers the week prior were not good. What we saw from Tre Brown was incredible week-to-week improvement. Okay? Nobody improved more week-to-week from week 1 to week 2 than Tre Brown did. So if he continues, if we see more of what we did week 2, watch out. That's going to continue to soar for Tre Brown, I think, if we see more of that. More of that going forward, Tre Brown's going to be in great shape. Stock down. Jason Myers has not started off 2023 very well with what he's done at this point. Missing, a few kicks in the extra points and all that. Jason Myers has not been off to a good start to this year. But I got to tell you, I'm still optimistic about Jason Myers that he can find a way to get the job done because his track record says that he can still play at a very high level, that he's gone through these slumps before, and that he's going to be A-okay. So I'm not worried about Jason Myers. Patience, folks. Myers is ultimately going to be okay, I think. I'm not too concerned with him. What's your concern level with Jason Myers? Scale it for me 1 through 10 in the comment section. Where do you stand right now when it comes to Jason Myers? Let me know what you think as far as he goes. Last on Stock Up, we go to the offensive line, and I got to go with the starting tackles for now, that being Stone Forsythe and Jake Curhan, with what they did in that Lions game. They came in that Rams game and were not prepared. They both really struggled. Geno did not have time to throw the football that second half against the Rams. And then this week, there's a lot of skeptics about this matchup against the Detroit Lions, and those guys answered the call and got the job done. In particular, Stone Forsythe registering a 70 on the PFF scale. He held his own. Only 1 sack was given up, and honestly, Geno held the ball too long on the 1 sack that actually did occur. These guys did enough, and they made their claim for why they deserve to be trusted to continue out there. Now, I'll say this. Their stock is up, and that's a big deal, but that's just one test. There are a few more tests to go because you're going to be without Abe Lucas for at least 3 more weeks, and we'll see where Charles Cross goes. But the next few weeks are all about survival. You survived 1 week. Now where do you go from here? They passed that first test, but there's still more work to be done. So hopefully they continue this up and continue to go up from here. I hope so. We'll see. But I like what I saw from this week. Very good response, comparably speaking, to what they did in week 1. There you have it for Stock Up, Stock Down this week. Subscribe to the channel for the latest happenings on your Seattle Seahawks. We got you covered. We will see you next time. Thanks for joining us right here on Seahawks Today.